Hi guys, Anders from Transforming ADHD here. Today I want to show you how you can get rid of all of that tension that you have over not being able to focus by looking at one specific metaphor for what's going on in your mind, or at least my client's mind. And if you recognize this metaphor, if it works for you, then you will get inspired to change the way you focus from the inside out. Today's client was a male in his, he was around 40 years old. He complained about not being able to focus. And when I asked him, what is going on in your mind? Like, how are you trying to focus? He gave this image, this metaphor. He said, well, it's like I have like 4 rows of 4 TVs in my mind, like 16 TVs in my mind. And whenever I'm always scanning to figure out which one is the most important one, and when I kind of lock in that is the most important one, the other 15 change their channels. So suddenly I get nervous and I doubt that the one I'm at is really the most important one. So he'll start searching all the 16 again, lock in on the original or someone else, some other channel, and then the rest will channel again. For all these, he said there is no remote, no way to control these. Imagine in your mind if you had 16 TVs going like that, and that was your strategy to not only focus, but also focus on the right thing. So this man was able to focus, but he was focusing with a really poor strategy for finding and prioritizing what he wanted to do. He was also always letting everything in and being kind of doubtful whether he was focusing on the right thing or not. So obviously this guy hardly ever held a job for more than 3 to 6 months. He had no educational background, or he had a really hard time focusing on anything, relationships lost and whatnot. How focus wasn't really his problem, but his mental strategy. Now, if you look at the mental strategy, it would be like having a prioritized list and ruffling it up every time you was ready to determine which assignment was the most important thing to do. Focus, being able to focus, wasn't really his problem. You see, he could focus on that strategy and trying to prioritize all day long, but he would be spent and he would still not have done anything and made anything out of that, all that energy he put into it. So focus wasn't really his problem. Prioritizing was his problem. And the strategy, the mental strategy that he was using to prioritize and then focus was the problem. So when you have a clear metaphor like that, then that really is the experience that you're going through on a daily basis. The metaphors are not, some people say, it doesn't matter what metaphor I use, but it does, because that metaphor is really what is going on in that inner universe where you experience the real universe through. So it does matter if your prioritizing system is 16 TVs in your head, or a lottery ball machine, or if it's an ordered map of what needs to be done by what time. But I don't want that many TVs. So can I get rid of any of those? And I was like, how many would you like? Because the mind is so flexible. And he was like, 2, maybe 3, no more than 4. Down from 16 to just 4 and you have to do the same procedure? Still, he hadn't changed the strategy. So I was like, what do you want different with your strategy? Like, how would you like to know what to focus on? And he said, I would like one big screen in the center and then one on each side that are smaller, that has relevant interruptions on them. But I'll have my focus here, and if something comes up on one of these screens, it'll start kind of blinking at me. And then if I accept the disturbance, I'll put it on the main screen and put my other project that I was working on down onto that screen. Previously, you had 16 screens and you could never figure out which one was the most important one. Suddenly you have just one. And then kind of 2 smaller helper screens. A lot of programmers actually do this in the real world. They'll have one kind of tasks on one screen, the project they're working on the center screen, and some kind of help or assistant functions on the third screen. So this was a pretty pragmatic approach that he chose, and maybe not ideal, but it was supported by him already knowing the metaphor and already using it, so he could easily transform it into that. And when he walked out the door, he was just so excited because he knew exactly what he wanted to go home and do, because it was on the front screen, or the major screen in the front, in front of him. Spent at the end of the day. So he actually had a lot more energy because he was a master focuser. So he could focus all day now and still not be spent. And obviously when you change like that, if you do that transformation of how you focus, your self-worth just goes up and up and up every time you produce something or get anything done. Right, so what I advise and why I'm here in front of you is that I really hope that you'll take it to heart, that you need to work on your mental strategies. What's happening inside your mind, in your cognitive abilities, in your cognitive functions? What strategy are you using in there? How are you using it wrong? What's going on in there that is just profoundly ineffective, that makes it hard for you to focus? What is your mental strategy or cognitive strategy for trying to focus? And why is it not working? If you got that answer, please scroll down to the bottom of this page and leave your comment, and I'll love to comment back and give you some feedback on how you can transform your mental ability, or I might even make an entire video for you. So head down there and I'll be down there waiting for you. Also, if you're interested in more like this, subscribe to the channel and then head over to transformingadhd.com and I'll see you there.